Impact of anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025, effects on the agriculture, transportation and manufacturing sectors amidst rising international security dynamics. 1. Introduction. As we approach the first quarter of 2025, the anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling presents a transformative moment for several key industries, notably agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing. This report aims to dissect the implications of this decrease amidst a backdrop of rising international security dynamics and evolving regulatory landscapes. Various reports and sources indicate that this shift will not only reshape operational methodologies but also influence compliance practices and supply chain integrity. 2. Key trends and challenges. The cross-border transportation sector has been under increasing strain due to rising operating costs and heightened security concerns. According to C.H. Robinson, operating costs surged by approximately 20% in 2024, driven by a combination of rising fuel prices, which increased by 6.33%, and the heightened need for security measures due to cargo theft and operational delays. The anticipated reduction in smuggling could serve to alleviate some of these pressures by creating a more organized and accountable trade environment, yet it also poses challenges in terms of supply availability and compliance with emerging regulatory frameworks. 3. Regulatory landscape. The regulatory environment surrounding trade compliance has become increasingly stringent, with multiple global agencies intensifying enforcement actions in 2024. The Descartes report highlights record penalties for sanctions and export control violations as organizations grapple with complex compliance requirements amid geopolitical tensions. Companies will need to adapt to these changes by leveraging technology, enhancing their documentation practices, and ensuring robust compliance protocols to mitigate risks associated with non-compliance. 4. Agricultural security. One of the most pressing concerns for the agricultural sector is the threat of invasive species and agro-terrorism. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) has emphasized the importance of rigorous inspection protocols to prevent harmful pests from entering the United States through imports. With the anticipated decrease in smuggling, there may be a more secure supply chain. However, the availability of certain imported goods that are essential for farmers could be adversely affected. Compliance with stringent agricultural regulations will be vital for ensuring both domestic agricultural security and consumer safety. 5. Sector-specific impacts. Agriculture. The decrease in smuggling is expected to enhance supply chain security, potentially leading to improved food safety and quality. However, farmers may face challenges related to the availability of critical inputs that are typically imported. Ensuring compliance with new regulations will be crucial to protect domestic agriculture from threats posed by invasive species. Transportation. The transportation sector is likely to encounter operational challenges, particularly during peak seasons. The introduction of digital driver's licenses in Mexico may create temporary disruptions in cross-border logistics, necessitating careful management of freight flows and driver availability. While a reduction in smuggling may streamline processes, the industry must prepare for a transition period as new systems are implemented. Manufacturing. The manufacturing sector stands at a crossroads, facing both opportunities and risks. The focus on compliance and regional trade integration presents potential benefits, especially for companies looking to shift supply chains away from China. However, manufacturers reliant on cross-border trade must navigate the complexities introduced by tariffs and supply chain disruptions that may occur as the regulatory environment evolves. 6. Timeline of events. 2024, significant increases in operating costs for cross-border carriers, heightened enforcement of trade compliance, introduction of new regulations on record-keeping and export controls. Q1 2025, the anticipated reduction in cross-border smuggling is set to reshape trade dynamics, compelling businesses to enhance compliance measures amidst geopolitical uncertainties. 7. Conclusion. The projected 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 heralds a period of significant change for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. As regulatory pressures mount and security dynamics evolve, companies must adapt their strategies to effectively navigate the complexities of international trade. Emphasizing enhanced compliance practices and leveraging technological solutions will be critical in ensuring resilience against emerging threats while capitalizing on global trade opportunities. The landscape ahead is fraught with challenges. Yet it also offers the potential for growth and improved operational efficiency as industries adjust to the new normal. This comprehensive understanding of the changing dynamics will be essential for stakeholders as they prepare for the implications of reduced smuggling activities and the associated regulatory environment in 2025 and beyond. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 reveals several counterintuitive implications for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors amidst rising international security dynamics. Here are some of the significant counterintuitive insights derived from the analysis. 1. Increased security may lead to greater smuggling. While a decrease in smuggling is expected due to heightened security measures, paradoxically, these same measures could inadvertently lead to increased smuggling activities. As enforcement intensifies, smugglers may innovate and adapt their tactics to bypass new security protocols, resulting in a cat-and-mouse dynamic that can temporarily increase smuggling activities despite overall trends. 2. Stricter regulations may boost illegal supply chains. The anticipated tightening of regulations and compliance requirements can push certain businesses to seek out illegal or unregulated supply chains as a means to circumvent new costs and complexities. This could lead to an unexpected rise in smuggling as companies prioritize cost savings over compliance, particularly in the agricultural sector where imported goods are crucial for operations. 3. Reduced smuggling could disrupt supply chains. While a decrease in smuggling is typically perceived as positive, it may actually disrupt established supply chains that depend on the availability of smuggled goods. For instance, agricultural businesses that rely on smuggled inputs may face shortages, leading to increased prices and potential disruptions in production. This could create a paradox where a reduction in illicit activities results in greater operational challenges for legitimate businesses. 4. Digitalization and compliance costs may offset benefits. The push towards digitalization and enhanced compliance practices is intended to streamline operations. However, the costs associated with implementing new technologies and training personnel could outweigh the benefits of reduced smuggling. Businesses may initially struggle to adapt, leading to inefficiencies that could exacerbate operational challenges rather than alleviate them. 5. Invasive species threats could increase. The reduction in smuggling might lead to a false sense of security regarding invasive species and agro-terrorism threats. As legitimate trade routes become more regulated, there may be an assumption that the risk of invasive species entering the U.S. will decrease. However, the reality is that invasive species could still enter through less regulated pathways or due to lapses in inspection protocols, ultimately posing a greater threat to agriculture than before. 6. Potential for increased domestic prices. A reduction in smuggled goods could lead to increased prices for agricultural products that were previously supplemented by these goods. This might create economic pressures on consumers and could paradoxically drive demand for smuggled goods as consumers seek more affordable alternatives. The dynamics of supply and demand could shift, leading to a cycle where reduced smuggling unintentionally fuels further illicit trade. 7. Counterintuitive economic opportunities. While businesses may perceive smuggling reduction as a threat to supply chains reliant on cheaper illicit goods, it may also present unexpected opportunities for domestic producers, as the availability of cheaper smuggled goods declines. Local producers may find a larger market share and increased pricing power. This could lead to a resurgence in certain agricultural sectors, although it may not initially be recognized as a benefit. 8. The complexity of compliance challenges. the anticipated increase in compliance requirements due to regulatory changes may lead businesses to misallocate resources towards compliance at the expense of operational efficiency. This counterintuitive shift could result in decreased competitiveness in global markets as companies focus more on meeting regulatory standards rather than optimizing their supply chain operations. 9. Impact on transportation efficiency. The transition to digital driver's licenses in Mexico aimed at modernizing and securing transportation routes might lead to short-term inefficiencies and delays in cross-border logistics. This could counteract the benefits of reduced smuggling as the transportation sector grapples with new bureaucratic hurdles and technology adaptation, ultimately affecting delivery times and costs. 10. Geopolitical tensions may drive smuggling. While the reduction in smuggling is anticipated as a result of enhanced security measures, ongoing geopolitical tensions could lead to increased smuggling activities as actors seek to exploit vulnerabilities in the system. The interplay between security dynamics and market responses could create a scenario where smuggling persists or even grows in response to external pressures. In summary, while the expected decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 is generally viewed as a positive development, it accompanies a range of counterintuitive outcomes that could complicate the operational landscape for key sectors. The implications extend beyond mere statistics, highlighting the interconnectedness of supply chains, regulatory environments, and market dynamics that challenge conventional assumptions. The report, titled Impact of Anticipated 25% Decrease in Cross-Border Smuggling by Q1 2025, discusses several critical elements that might be overlooked by readers, particularly regarding the nuanced implications of this decrease on various sectors including agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing. Below are some important aspects that warrant further attention and their significance. 1. Agricultural security and the threat of invasive species. One area that may not receive adequate emphasis is the impact on agricultural security due to the anticipated reduction in smuggling. While the report highlights the potential for a more secure supply chain, it also notes the risks associated with invasive species and agro-terrorism. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) has been increasingly vocal about the threats posed by the introduction of harmful pests through imports, particularly as new regulations come into effect. Significance: the agricultural sector faces the dual challenge of maintaining productivity while safeguarding against potential threats that could devastate crops and livestock. As smuggling decreases, the focus on rigorous inspection protocols becomes crucial. The importance of protecting domestic agriculture from invasive species cannot be overstated, as such threats can have long-term impacts on food security, biodiversity, and economic stability within the agricultural sector. 2. Regulatory landscape and compliance risks. The report notes the increasingly stringent regulatory environment with record penalties for violations of trade compliance. However, it is vital to consider how these changes in regulations will disproportionately affect smaller businesses that may lack the resources to adapt quickly to new compliance demands. Significance: many smaller companies may find themselves at a disadvantage due to heightened compliance requirements, leading to potential market consolidation as larger firms with more resources dominate. This could also stifle innovation and competition within the sector, as smaller players exit the market due to compliance burdens. Understanding the regulatory landscape's complexity and its implications for market dynamics is crucial for stakeholders at all levels. 3. Transportation sector challenges and digital transition. The anticipated digital transition to digital driver's licenses in Mexico is highlighted, but the report may not fully convey the operational disruptions this change could cause during the transition period. The transportation sector faces challenges not only from operational capacity but also from adapting to new technologies that demand significant investment. Significance: the introduction of digital technologies may lead to temporary disruptions in logistics and freight flows, which could exacerbate existing challenges during peak seasons. Companies that fail to prepare for this transition risk facing delays and increased costs, which could ripple through the supply chain. This highlights the need for strategic planning and investment in technology to mitigate disruption risks. 4. Manufacturing sector and supply chain shifts. The report suggests that the anticipated decrease in smuggling could lead to shifts in manufacturing supply chains, particularly as companies move away from reliance on Chinese components. However, it is essential to emphasize the potential vulnerabilities that come with such shifts, including the short-term risks associated with tariff impositions and supply chain disruptions. Significance. While the opportunity to diversify supply chains is significant, it also poses risks related to the reliability of new suppliers and the complexities of establishing new trade relationships. Manufacturing companies must remain agile and responsive to changing trade dynamics to ensure they do not face increased operational risks. 5. Geopolitical tensions and trade compliance evolution. The report mentions evolving geopolitical tensions and their impact on trade compliance. Yet it does not delve deeply into how specific geopolitical events might directly affect these sectors. For instance, the ongoing conflicts in trade relationships with significant partners can lead to abrupt changes in compliance requirements and market access. Significance. Understanding the geopolitical landscape is vital for businesses engaged in international trade. Geopolitical events can create sudden shifts in tariffs, trade agreements, and compliance requirements, necessitating businesses to remain vigilant and adaptable. Those who fail to anticipate these changes may find themselves unprepared for market disruptions. 6. Technological adoption and compliance improvements. The report highlights the importance of advanced technology in enhancing trade compliance, but may not sufficiently address the barriers that businesses, especially smaller ones, face in adopting such technologies. The costs associated with implementing advanced systems for tracking compliance can be significant. Significance. The ability to leverage technology for compliance is becoming increasingly critical as regulatory pressures mount. However, the disparity in technological capabilities between large corporations and smaller businesses could lead to an uneven playing field. This highlights the need for support mechanisms such as grants or subsidies to help smaller firms invest in necessary technologies, ensuring fair competition. Conclusion. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 presents multifaceted challenges and opportunities across various sectors. The nuanced implications, particularly regarding agricultural security, regulatory compliance, transportation disruptions, geopolitical impacts, and technological adoption, are vital components that stakeholders must consider. By understanding these complexities, businesses can better prepare for the evolving landscape of international trade and ensure resilience against emerging threats. 1. Impact on agricultural security. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling presents significant implications for agricultural security. While this reduction may lead to a more secure supply chain, it also raises concerns regarding the availability of certain imported goods that farmers rely on. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) has emphasized the need for stringent inspection protocols to prevent invasive species and agro-terrorism threats. This shift towards stricter compliance can help protect domestic agriculture but may also limit access to essential agricultural products. The potential consequences of this regulatory tightening on the agricultural sector warrant in-depth discussion, particularly regarding how farmers can adapt to these changes and ensure the sustainability of their operations. 2. Regulatory landscape and trade compliance. The evolving regulatory landscape is becoming increasingly complex, particularly in the context of international trade compliance. Heightened enforcement actions, especially in light of geopolitical tensions, underscore the urgent need for businesses in the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors to adapt. Key regulatory agencies have imposed record penalties for violations, and new rules regarding documentation and compliance are being introduced. This regulatory environment necessitates a thorough analysis of how companies can leverage technology to enhance their compliance practices. Discussing the implications of these regulatory changes on operational strategies and risk management will be essential for businesses navigating the complexities of global trade. 3. Sector-specific challenges in transportation. The transportation sector is facing unique challenges as it adapts to the anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling. Increased operating costs from rising fuel prices and security measures against cargo theft are already straining carriers. The introduction of digital driver's licenses in Mexico further complicates logistics, potentially leading to disruptions during peak seasons. Analyzing how transportation companies can improve operational efficiency and manage freight flows amidst these changes is crucial. Furthermore, the impact on cross-border logistics and how companies can navigate these challenges while maintaining service reliability requires in-depth examination. 4. Manufacturing sector adaptations. The implications for the manufacturing sector are multifaceted, especially as companies may shift supply chains away from China due to evolving trade dynamics. While this presents opportunities for regional trade integration, manufacturers must also contend with the risks posed by tariffs and compliance-related disruptions. The need for manufacturers to adapt their strategies to ensure resilience against fluctuating supply chain dynamics is paramount. A detailed discussion on how manufacturers can leverage emerging trends such as technological advancements and shifts in global sourcing strategies will provide valuable insights into navigating the complexities of the manufacturing landscape in light of anticipated regulatory and market changes. 1. Prohibition era 1920 to 1933. The United States experienced a significant decrease in the legal trade of alcohol during the Prohibition era, which was marked by the 18th Amendment and the Volstead Act. The government aimed to curb alcohol consumption, but this led to a surge in illegal cross-border smuggling activities. Organized crime syndicates flourished as they transported alcohol from Canada and Mexico, leading to increased violence and corruption. The unintended consequences of the prohibition laws highlighted the challenges of enforcing bans on goods and demonstrated how strict regulations could lead to thriving black markets. This case illustrates the complex relationship between government regulation and illicit trade, paralleling the anticipated impacts of increased regulation and the potential decrease in cross-border smuggling in modern contexts. 2. Opium Wars 1839 to 1860. The Opium Wars were a series of conflicts between China and Western powers, mainly Britain, that arose from China's attempts to suppress the opium trade. British merchants driven by profit smuggled opium into China, leading to widespread addiction and social issues. In response, the Qing government implemented strict measures to control the trade, culminating in the First Opium War. The conflict resulted in the Treaty of Nanking, which favored Western powers and opened several Chinese ports to foreign trade. The wars highlighted the tensions between national sovereignty and international trade dynamics, akin to the modern challenges of managing cross-border smuggling and compliance in an increasingly interconnected world. 3. The Smuggling Tariff Act 1930. Enacted during the Great Depression, this U.S. legislation raised tariffs on hundreds of imported goods in an effort to protect American industry. However, it led to retaliatory tariffs from other nations, resulting in a significant decline in international trade. While the intent was to bolster domestic manufacturing, the act ultimately exacerbated the economic downturn and led to increased smuggling and black market activities as consumers sought cheaper goods. The Smuggling Tariff Act serves as a historical example of how well-meaning trade regulations can backfire, drawing parallels to modern concerns about tariffs and compliance impacting cross-border trade dynamics. Future outlook: anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 and its effects on agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. As we approach Q1 2025, the anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling is set to reshape the landscape of international trade, particularly impacting the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. This change stems from a combination of heightened security measures, regulatory changes, and evolving geopolitical dynamics. Here are the key predictions regarding the implications of this decline. 1. Enhanced supply chain security. The reduction in smuggling is expected to enhance the security of supply chains across sectors. 4. Agriculture. This could mean better protection against the introduction of invasive species and agro-terrorism threats which have plagued the sector. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) will likely intensify inspection protocols, leading to a decrease in harmful pests and diseases entering the country. This will bolster domestic agricultural production and promote consumer confidence in food safety. 2. Increased compliance costs. While the decrease in smuggling may enhance security, it will also impose additional compliance costs on companies. The agriculture and manufacturing sectors will face stricter regulatory requirements, including enhanced documentation and record-keeping practices to ensure compliance with new trade regulations. Companies that fail to adapt may face significant penalties. This regulatory landscape will compel businesses to invest in advanced compliance technologies, ultimately increasing operational costs. 3. Impact on transportation efficiency. The transportation sector will navigate a dual challenge, managing increased operational costs while adapting to new compliance measures. In 2024, rising fuel prices and security measures have already strained carrier budgets. The transition to digital truck driver's licenses in Mexico could cause initial disruptions, particularly during peak seasons. However, as carriers adopt digital solutions and optimize routes, we may see long-term enhancements in efficiency, albeit with temporary disruptions in the transition phase. 4. Shift in trade dynamics. Manufacturers, particularly in industries like automotive, may benefit from the decreased smuggling as companies seek to establish more stable supply chains. As businesses look to reduce reliance on smuggled goods, there may be a shift towards sourcing from compliant suppliers. This could drive a resurgence in regional manufacturing, especially in North America, as companies pivot away from reliance on Chinese imports due to ongoing geopolitical tensions and tariff threats. 5. Increased demand for advanced technology. As regulatory compliance becomes more complex, the demand for advanced technologies in trade compliance will surge. Companies in all three sectors, agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing, will increasingly leverage AI, machine learning, and blockchain technologies to streamline compliance processes and enhance supply chain visibility. This technological adoption will not only mitigate risks but also drive operational efficiencies in the long run. 6. Economic resilience amid geopolitical tensions. The anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling will occur against a backdrop of rising international security dynamics, including geopolitical tensions that may disrupt trade flows. While this may initially pose risks, it could also catalyze efforts to develop more resilient supply chains. Companies that proactively adapt to changing regulations and invest in compliance technologies will be better positioned to weather these uncertainties. 7. Opportunities for strategic partnerships. The evolving landscape will create opportunities for strategic partnerships among businesses. Firms within the agriculture sector may collaborate with transportation companies to develop more efficient logistics solutions, while manufacturers may seek partnerships to enhance compliance and reduce costs. These collaborations will be essential as sectors strive to adapt to the new regulatory environment and enhance supply chain security. 8. Long-term economic growth. In the longer term, the anticipated decrease in smuggling could foster a more robust and compliant trade environment, potentially leading to economic growth. Enhanced trade compliance and the mitigation of smuggling-related risks may attract foreign direct investment, particularly in sectors that prioritize sustainability and ethical practices. As companies align with global standards, they may enhance their competitiveness in the international market. Conclusion. In summary, the anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 is poised to bring about significant changes across the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. While challenges related to compliance costs and operational disruptions are likely to emerge, the overall outlook is one of enhanced supply chain security, technological advancement, and potential economic growth. Businesses that adapt proactively to these changes will be better equipped to navigate the complexities of international trade in an evolving geopolitical landscape.